playing Merfolk, but I don't know if it was blue-black. Was it blue-black? Okay, sounds like Chris Williams.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. So if one of them loses, the loser doesn't make top 8?
Oh no, AJ will make top 8 and loses.
Wow, okay.
AJ is a lock no matter what. That's why he's forcing him to play.
Wow.
But
Wow, this
he
is
might put an X2 in like Jerry with a high breaker.
Huh.
Wow, that's a crazy development. Okay, we'll report that. Just to finish up what I was saying, basically what it looks like is that Edgar Flores, who was threatening making level 5, is now threatening level 6. That's what I'm getting at. Edgar Flores is now threatening level 6.
Oh my goodness.
We just talked about him making level 5 in 3 weeks. He's not going to make level 6.
Right.
But he is threatening level 6 in Dallas next week, depending on how well he does.
Wow.
Threatening hitting that threshold. It's absolutely crazy. So, anyway, now just to before the match gets started.
Following players: Raymond
I wish we
Stocker
could
and Cody Napier.
Get this
Raymond
in before these
and
guys
Cody,
start
we
talking.
did get that draft to launch. Please come on down to side events. The rest of the pod is waiting for you. Raymond Stocker and Cody
Love
Napier,
that
the
dice
$10
case.
draft number 3.
So, real quick, and it sounds like Drew's ready to come in and tell us the same thing we just heard from Alex. Come over here and talk if you're going to talk. Quick. Just so you're on this side of the mics.
I drew. I'm fine. Nick Spagnuolo is actually live for top 8, and Caleb and Jerry are playing, and AJ is playing Edgar Flores and is actually making Edgar play to try and dream crush the winner of the Caleb Jerry match into top 8.
That's
at
absolutely
X1.
crazy. Yeah.
Because the tiebreakers work in Jerry's favor. Basically, he's playing for Jerry.
So wait a minute. Jerry is at X1 now, right?
Jerry's at X2.
Or X2 now. I'm sorry. So
Yeah.
the winner.
So
can possibly
if Jerry
get top
beats
8.
Caleb and AJ beats Edgar, Edgar's out and Jerry's in.
Wow, that's nuts because his tiebreaker.
Because he has buys.
Right, because of his buys. Wow, that's nuts.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be an interesting storyline. We'll have to follow what happens here.
We're still looking for
I almost
drama
feel like
increases.
I feel like we should be calling AJ and Flores into this
Yeah, no,
feature match.
I ran over to Glenn, and Glenn was like, nope, what's done is done.
Yeah, unfortunately.
If you wish to draft,
So anyway, we'll talk about this match here then.
Yeah. See you guys
Thank
later.
you.
Cool. Thanks for the update.
Is now
Yeah,
filled
there you
up
have it.
again. We're still
So we-
looking for Cody Napier.
So,
Cody, if you are anywhere within
well, I
the
guess we
vicinity
can
of my voice,
temporarily
$10 draft is waiting for
scratch,
you. Or if
Edgar out
anyone
in
knows
pencil,
Cody, please let him know
until
and let
he
us know what his status
wins
is.
against AJ.
Yeah. So
Okay, so we've got a match here. George went with a brainstorm and now has a Misty Rainforest. And Ben is going to play a Horizon Canopy into a Tarmogoyf.
So looking at George's list, George is a Painter Servant Grindstone list, playing 2 Trinket Mages, 4 Goblin Welders, and 4 Painter Servants, who he listed under spells. He listed the other guys under creatures, but the Painter Servants are under spells.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute, a Painter Servant
Yeah.
deck without Painter Servant?
Right,
that
I
doesn't
know.
seem right.
For a second, I kind of question that, but there's George Blankenship there. We're sitting here round 8, and it's really some of the storylines here looking pretty crazy. I mean, we were just talking about Edgar Flores making top 8, but he is being forced to play it out by AJ Soccer, who apparently is win or lose in the top 8. AJ makes it in, but if he wins, it sounds like the winner of the Caleb Jerry match will make it
This
in.
is the last call for
So,
Cody.
we'll see for
Cody
sure.
Napier. All right.
George
Cody
drops out a
is not
second
here.
brainstorm. At the end of Ben's turn, obviously, and then he plays a Seat of the Synod into a Painter Servant.
So Blankenship already assembling half of his combo. Wienburg's got a lot of interaction compared to a lot of the Bant aggro lists, like the one Spagnuolo was playing earlier. He did have a match against Spagnuolo, and Spagnuolo took that match. But Wienburg actually has a little more disruption than the typical aggro list, so we'll have to see what he can do about the combo that Blankenship is attempting to assemble, and is halfway there. There's one way to do it. So he attempts the Swords to Plowshares on the Painter's Servant.
I believe he does have a Daze in hand, so he can Daze Force of Will if he attempts the Force of Will.
Yeah, a lot of people on Twitter want to see that match. Can't really, doesn't look like there's anything we can do about it at this point, but because we did find out way too late, they're not even another feature match. It looked like a draw match. It looked like a match they were going to draw, and it was just,
no point in sticking them at the feature match table.
Also unfair to these guys, too.
Sure, absolutely.
Not really fair to move them from under the lights just because something else came up. So, this is good magic here, too.
Yeah, absolutely. We commiserate on the opinion there of the drama in terms of storyline or whatever. But here we are, and Ben swings in with his Tarmogoyf, which because of swords as opposed to like maybe a black removal spell, doesn't pump the Goyf. The Painter Servant in the graveyard doesn't pump the Goyf.
Why wouldn't the Painter Servant pump the Goyf?
Because swords removes it from the game.
Oh, you said Painter Servant in the graveyard. I was kind of confused. Painter Servant is not in the graveyard.
No, it's not.
And that's why it doesn't pump the Goyf.
There is that. But what I'm saying is, if there was another removal spell that put it in the graveyard, it would pump it way further. But it's a smaller Goyf than...
Yeah, I get what you're saying here. No artifact and creature to make that Goyf a little bigger.
Noyan says, see, now it would be nice to have a recruiter, wouldn't it?
Well, it might.
Noyan's on that recruiter today.
I think he must have a back stock. He's trying to sell them. Who knows? All right, Wienburg getting a Knight of the Reliquary on his side of the board.
Yep.
I only see, is it 2 lands in his graveyard? Definitely Scalding Tarn. What's under the Swords to Plowshares? I believe it's
I think it's another land.
I think it is too.
Could be wrong.
Yeah, well, so probably a 4/4 Knight. But the Goyf gets in. So we got a land, instant, and that's it. So I think that Goyf is pretty small. Is that all you see is land and instant, right? Brainstorm, Force, some lands, and Swords to Plowshares.
I believe
that's all
so.
I see in the graveyard. George playing an Intuition for his 3 Painter Servants. So, Noyan, see, Intuition works almost just as well as Recruiter, right?
Seems right. And he puts 2 in the graveyard, which he can weld back later.
That's true. Also pumps that Goyf twice, though.
It does pump the
Artifact
Goyf.
and creature now.
That does pump the Goyf, correct.
Yeah. So, as I try to argue with Noyan on Twitter, Noyan has it. I kind of have a little weakness in my argument in that the Tarmogoyf there kind of makes it look a little better to be playing Imperial Recruiter for a Painter Servant than Intuition. But Intuition, it does have a little more versatility.
George is protecting his combo with his lands in front of his permanents.
I've seen a lot of that today. A lot of players you wouldn't expect, because I know when we used to start playing, that's how we played, right? It was like lands in the front and then permanents behind the lands.
It was kind of to separate our boards, I think, almost. You know what
maybe
I mean?
it was like almost like the lands, and just how everybody played. Everybody back then that we played against played that way, and I think if anybody didn't, it was weird to us. But now it's weird to me to see the other thing, and Posge is one that does that, I noticed.
Oh, really?
Puts the lands in front of the permanents, the other permanents, the non-land permanents.
I agree. It always feels weird to me too. So.
Meanwhile, he used that red elemental blast to take out a
The Reliquary.
Knight of the Reliquary. That's what I was looking for. Both players at 15 life, but that's not for long, because that Goyf is looking about to smash in. Either take out that Painter Servant, which I don't know if George wants to wait to lose his only live copy of Painter Servant.
Doesn't seem likely at 15 life. Maybe at like 3 or 4.
Yeah, but a second Tarmogoyf will add to the pressure there, and those are 4 power Goyfs.
George has 1 card in hand. And the Welder's long gone.
Yep. He has 4 welders, but
Right,
there's
but
a
he has
Pyro
no,
Blast, right.
no cards right now. And Ben's just going to keep beating him with the
this is
Mongoloid.
something Adrian's one of our Twitter followers says. Fellow commentator Adrian Sullivan very famously inverts all his cards and entire board position to tilt opponents.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't played against Adrian, so I haven't seen that.
Huh.
That's pretty funny. He says he famously does that, but I guess not isn't something that I've ever heard about. I'll have to talk to Adrian about that when we're in Boston. I'll be doing commentary with Adrian in Boston.
Guessing he searches up the grindstone.
Yeah, seems right. See, now this is what on Twitter, Noyan telling us he is still pushing for Recruiter. The fact that Recruiter can get you Trinket Mage, that can get you Grindstone. Michael Pilnick with that Adrian Sullivan factoid, and just to
So George takes game 1.
just to give credit where credit is due. Thank you, Michael. Michael's one of the guys who's been giving me some feedback after San Jose and a little bit after last night, and helping us out here on the Twitter feed.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let the Twitter people battle it out. We're going,
Yeah.
we're not gonna be the middlemen here, but
Here, I'm just going to... Oh, no, wrong. He's innocent. I almost added Michael to this.
yeah. Be sure to add
that's what I meant.
Adrian R. Hod Dragon as well, who is also getting in on the discussion. But okay, so we saw George take game 1, assembling that combo. Even though Ben had a lot of pressure with Tarmogoyfs on the board, 2 copies of Tarmogoyf, it basically looked like he was threatening to win. It was an impending win for Ben if
Yeah.
George couldn't get that Grindstone. But he has the Trinket Mage to fetch the Grindstone, and that's it.
That about do it.
Nothing Wienburg could do about that in this particular situation.
No,
And,
Wienburg does have Stifles in his deck, but
right,
he didn't have one.
I assume he didn't have one available there, or else he probably would have used it.
You would think so, yeah.
Either that or he'd be slapping himself. He'd have a really big palm print on the top of his forehead there. We see he does not, so.
Hello. Face, meet, palm. Your new roommate.
I'm not sure. So there's Drew Levin in the background, basically resting up for top 8. For those of you just joining us, I'm Joey Pasco here with Big Head Joe. We're here in Memphis, Tennessee, covering the StarCityGames.com Open Series. It's late Sunday. We're in round 8, the final round of the Legacy Open Series event. We're watching Ben Wienburg on the right with a Bant New Horizons list, and George Blankenship on the left with a Painter's Servant Grindstone combo, which we just did see him assemble to take game 1, despite a lot of pressure from Ben Wienburg's Tarmogoyfs. We saw Ben earlier playing against Nick Spagnolo, and despite some impressive plays on Ben's part, he was not able to take that match against Spagnolo.
Right.
Got a little bit overwhelmed by Cold-Eyed Selkie
Yeah.
and Exalted Triggers, pretty much.
That was
that
a
was
pretty
it.
cool interaction we saw there.
Yeah, it's kind of Cold-Eyed Selkie seems like such a little an innocuous little card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
just
it's
a 1/1
1/1
for 3.
Right, but
Just got Island Wall.
in a Bant list that has a lot of exalted triggers, he just Spagnolo just had 2 Hierarchs on board, and the Cold-Eyed Selkie was drawing him 3 cards a turn, and he just buried Wienburg in card advantage in that game, and that was game 3, and it was in extra turns.
For sure. If it's possible, we should try to get the runner to get us some
Right.
updates.
Or we can ask a fill-in runner. I pointed at him, but I
Drew.
turned my head. Yeah, let's see if we can.
Can we get some updates periodically on what's going on in that match? That'd be great.
Thank you. Thank you. There is. I don't think the runner's still here. I think he's off right now.
Caleb is up again with Jerry.
Okay.
Okay.
Caleb Durward up a game on Jerry. We saw Caleb Durward the last round playing a Painter's Servant Grindstone deck of his own. So right now it sounds like both Painter's Servant Grindstone lists that we've seen today are up a game.
You know, the Grindstone list in the match against Jerry, I think that seems to be the faster of the two decks, right?
What?
Or
Possibly.
the two
yeah.
combo decks.
What's that?
AJ
AJ is
down a
also
game.
down a game, so that obviously means Flores is up a game against AJ. So, thanks to Drew 11 for giving us that report, and hopefully he'll continue to keep us updated there.
I'm sure he will. I think he's about as excited about this as we are.
He's pretty interested as well. Yeah.
Pretty compelling.
You know, I've noticed with these weekends that after the weekend's over, I can't remember what happened in Standard. I'm like, wow, this Legacy stuff's so fun. And I'm just like, what did we watch in Standard? Like, I don't even remember. So, I'll remember, like, the winner, but I have a lot of trouble remembering the matches.
Yeah.
I think I'll remember the Flores Miss Pagel match that we watched this morning, partly because it was on Sunday. But, anyway, it was a nice match. But the cool thing is you can catch the archives on ggslive.com.
Sure can.
Later in the week. I can't wait to go watch the can't wait to go watch the archives from Edison, which the matches that I missed.
Right. Well, I'm happy because I have a whole week at my parents' house.
I'm just gonna sit there and watch wrestling and Magic all week.
Wrestling and Magic and hang out with my friends from college. It's gonna be so much fun.
So there's
Caracas and a
Caracas from Wienburg, and again the pressure there, and Brainstorm from Blankenship.
Early Tarmogoyf there seems pretty good. It's right now
Yeah.
it's a 2-3.
Seems like that's the play of the day, the early pressure from Tarmogoyf, and then the backup Tombstalkers really making a big difference.
Volcanic Island is going to drop down the welder.
All right, so Goblin Welder, they're probably not there to block Tarmogoyf.
Doesn't seem likely.
What do we got? We got instant land right now, so that Tarmogoyf isn't so
Attention,
threatening.
draft open top 8 players.
2 power,
Please
2 drop. It's an
report
elvish
to draft
warrior
open
right
area
now.
so you can get to see them start your matches.
I thought Elvish Warrior was a 2-3.
It is oh, I'm sorry. Isn't that what Tarmogoyf is? A 2/3?
Oh, it is a 2-3. Oh, sorry.
For a second, I started to correct myself before actually realizing I was not wrong.
Yeah. Well, I definitely spoke before I realized I was wrong. So I guess it all balances
Sounds
out.
accurate.
Sounds typical.
You wonder if there should be like a red card that has an activated ability like target creature gains flying, so it could be a creature type bull. So like Red Bull gives you wings. They could just. Sorry, I have Red Bull over here.
I'm still nursing the same can from this morning.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. You also had a lot more caffeine in that Mountain Dew. I did not have that, so.
I don't think my leg has stopped shaking all day.
I've definitely been kicking my legs back and forth onto the table here. But it's good. We're very excited about what we're watching here. All this awesome magic.
Rocking out watching Legacy.
So Blankenship looks like he was considering that City of Traders, but obviously I think he changed his mind. He goes LED.
I think this is probably the most exciting Magic environment I've seen in a long time. Maybe
This
ever.
weekend or Legacy? What do you mean?
Legacy over the last month.
Well,
It's
considering we hadn't really watched a lot of Legacy. Well, really, how much Legacy could we watch before the existence of GG's Live?
It's true. It's very true.
But yeah, it's pretty exciting. hats off to Rashad for putting forth the GGs live into the universe. Very cool.
One of the most
Huge.
awesome developments in the history of competitive Magic.
Absolutely.
Frankly.
Absolutely. Frankly and Rashadly. Although I don't know who Frank is. So there's a Vendilion click from Wienburg and an intuition from Blankenship.
That was
It was
bad.
absolutely terrible. Sorry, sometimes.
As the hours in
The funny thing is, I think the more excited I am, the stupider my comments get. Yeah, hats on to Rashad, possibly.
hats on to Rashad. There you go.
Thanks, Bryce. Bryce, I think, has been talking to you about going up to Boston, right?
Right, he lives in Boston, so
See,
I'm trying to
you're trying
mise
to-
a spot on his floor.
Right
frankly.
on. We put him on the spot, right on the air.
Right on air.
Stone Giant gives dudes wings. Too bad Stone Giant is not a
Good card.
good card. Also not a bull. But it does kind of it does give something wings, right? From M10 and Alpha and Beta and Unlimited, revised 4th and 5th.
So it looks like George decided in the show and tell Emrakul package.
That's something I have to bring this up. I'll bring it up between games or between matches. I have an interesting story that Glenn told me. Fun stuff.
Okay, cool.
He just reminded me. Remind me after this because I meant to say it right when I got back into the booth, but I did not. I forgot about it.
Okay, so he dazed. He dazed the intuition. Obviously, George paid because
He
he
could.
wouldn't be searching up 3 cards right now.
Yeah. Lion's Eye Diamond is what he used to pay.
Oh. Okay, right on. Kind of got taken out of the action there for a little bit. We apologize. He chooses the grindstone.
George forcing Weinberg to give him at least one half of his combo.
With the welder out, it's almost like giving him the whole combo.
Exactly. That's where I was going. Kind of reminds me of like the Hanakami gifts ungiven kind of thing.
Right.
Back in I think even Block, Kamigawa Block. That was a fun little setup where you'd gifts ungiven for a bunch of cards, and no matter what they gave you, you were able to get which ones you wanted. It's like either give me what I want or give me cards that are just going to let me get what I wanted right back out of the graveyard. So
What did the Kami? Did it have like Soul Shift or something like that, or?
Soul Shift, what is that?
Oh,
I mean, it was like Arcane and all that.
Oh, okay.
Splice onto Arcane.
You don't remember Soul Shift?
You know,
It's like when a creature goes to the graveyard, you can return like a spirit creature.
isn't that Haunt? All right,
No.
so there's a.
Okay, so he's going to take out the. See the sign out there. Keep him off of 3 mana.
But what did he use there? I'm trying to figure out.
He's a Crossing Grip.
That's what I was gonna say. It looks like Crossing Grip. He just, I'm gonna. I would think you want to Crossing Grip the combo pieces, but I guess it seems like a really good idea to just keep him from ever playing them. If you can do that, but
Well, it's also an artifact he can't sacrifice now to the welder.
yeah, exactly.
So he gets the Painter's
Good
Servant,
call. Good call.
which means he has the other half of the combo too.
Right, and there's the Lion's Eye Diamond for Blankenship. And he's empty-handed, so that LED will, that's a free LED.
Wow.
Nice little,
And he can use it to. He can.
yeah.
Well, he can't sack it to get the. Grind. He doesn't have a grindstone in his graveyard. But once he plays one, he can use it and just go straight off of it.
Didn't he get a grindstone?
I thought he did. Oh, he discarded his hand from.
So the grindstone's in the graveyard then?
Discarded his hand to activate Lion's Eye Diamond, but he had an Emrakul, so he shuffled it up.
Is that what happened? Okay.
He's gonna chump there.
I'm talking about after that happened. I thought that was the split that we were talking about with the intuition. I'm having trouble seeing their graveyard, so Caracas puts the Vendilion Click back in Wienburg's hand. And Blankenship now ready to hopefully do some damage. And on his draw step, after he draws, Ben flashes in that Vendilion Click. Wants to see, what'd you get? This is the long way. Wow, there's the grindstone. He uses the long way Fate Seal, right? He's like, I'll Fate Seal you in your draw step when you have it.
Let's see what he draws.
Yeah. So, Caleb, did you win? Cool. Does that make you top 8 or possibly top 8?
If AJ successfully dream crushes, I'll be top 8.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. All right. Caleb Durwood beat Jerry Thompson. So.
An ancient tomb there from George Blankenship. Cracks a Misty.
And there's a Sword of Fire and Ice on the Vendilion Click. This will, yeah.
I'll take care of George. And we're gonna go to game 3. Tell your story.
Nice. So yeah, this is really Glenn's story, but he told it to me, and hopefully I don't screw it up. It's not too much to mess up. But basically, there was a new order, or not new order.
New order.
Yeah, new order.
Every
Natural
time
order.
I see you combo. I
Exactly.
get down on my knees.
So a
and pray.
show and tell list, right? Guy goes, his opponent I think went turn 1 Noble Hierarch. He goes turn 1, like maybe Ancient Tomb, Mox Diamond, removing a land. Show and tell, right? The opponent goes, okay, puts a card face down. The other player, puts his card face down. They flip him up. It's Emrakul from the show and tell player, of course, and Kozilek.
Yes, I heard about this.
So of course, the Kozilek player, then the show and tell player realizes that's all my permanents. As soon as Kozilek attacks, that's all my permanents.
Alex told me the same story,
Yeah.
but he was going. So Emrakul's over there going, Squidward, Squidward, and he was like waving his arms.
Squidward.
He had us falling out laughing out there.
So yeah, I thought that was
Take it
great
easy, man. Thanks.
for the show and tell player to get the turn 1 Emrakul and lose. How often does that happen?
Funny.
Right, Kozilek, basically because the Emrakul comes right into play without actually being played, the player does not get the extra turn, and so the Kozilek actually
what deck was
able
the
to
Kozilek
attack,
in?
as a tutor target or some sort of bant list. I don't even know. It was a tutor target. It was one of in the deck. He had it in his opener, and had basically the nuts.
That's a really good point.
What's that? Go ahead.
Some people are saying that the sword.
Yeah, was I? Did he definitely name blue? I would assume he did. That seems like the the way these Wu decks want, the color they want to name, of course.
Right,
But that's a
the,
good
the
point.
red elemental blast, and yes, his sword can't equip anything with Painter's Servant for red or blue in play.
Right, because the sword gives protection.
There was a
from
Painter's
those colors,
Servant out.
right? You know what we're saying, Rashad? Painter's Servant was in play, probably naming blue. Seems to be obvious. So Sword of Fire and Ice can't equip to anything because it gives pro blue, and it is blue itself.
Fall straight off.
You know what I mean? Since the sword now is blue, it should fall right off.
Just when I was joking maybe yesterday about a sword that gave protection from like artifacts and enchantments, they were like, well, then the sword would fall right off because it has, the creature has protection from artifacts.
So, well, there's a...
There's a judge right there.
Nothing we can do about it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There was a Painter's Servant out.
He equipped the sword to a Vendilion Click. Vendilion Click gains pro blue. Should have lost the sword, but he swung in, and then Blankenship scooped. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, if he scooped in response to the equip, then it doesn't matter if it actually worked or not.
Right. I can't remember if he turned it sideways or not. But
I'm pretty sure he did.
I think he did too.
Actually.
But
so Jerry did lose. So Jerry is not going to be in the top 8.
But it looks like, so basically we're still waiting for updates. I'm sure there's a crowd of players over there, crowd of people over there at the AJ and Flores table, and including, I believe, Drew Levin, who is, yeah, there he is, standing over the match, who will certainly give us an update.
Somebody asked if Flores is going to be in the top 8. Flores is going to be in the top 8. He's winning in right now.
Right.
Or drawing in.
Yeah, he's either drawing in or winning in, but AJ Soccer, his opponent, declined the draw because AJ is in no matter what at this point.
And wanted to attempt to get Jerry in.
Right, but at this point, Jerry is not a possibility. Jerry lost his match, so, you wonder...
Right, Jerry did lose, but they're still playing.
Yeah, it's not it's a whole lot of politics there.
Sure. So George leads off with an great furnace.
I keep calling it that one Ancient Den as well. I don't
Really?
know why.
That's so funny.
I really don't know why. I know Ancient Den is the white one.
Great, yeah,
Great
obviously.
furnace.
Great furnace into a Sensei's top and gets wastelanded.
Exactly.
And George follows up with a Misty Rainforest.
An LED and a Mox Opal, I believe.
Yep.
Oh, wait a second. Yeah, okay.
That's
Opal.
Opal.
I was going to say, it is Mox Opal there.
Glad he tapped it so we could see what picture it was.
Exactly. I was pretty sure that's what it was, but especially because he played 3 artifacts and then tapped it, It was kind of like he was intending to achieve Metalcraft there.
Okay. So Ben's got a Tropical Island. George has a very strong position right now in this game.
He is just
There's a Goblin Welder down.
On turn 2, just setting up his board state there. The Vining Top's going to help him get what he needs.
Or the Wasteland that Ben drew is
Oh, there's another Wasteland from
only
Ben.
be good for mana at this point because
Yeah, wasting that Misty Rainforest is not a likely, nor advisable strategy.
stifling it seems like a
Stifle, yes,
good
not
idea.
Wasteland.
I haven't seen Ben cast a Stifle this entire match.
And he does.
He runs
play
a play set.
4 of them, yeah.
It's not like he doesn't run them. Ancient Tomb from George.
And a Misty from Ben. I believe George has Painter's Servant in his hand. And looks like Brainstorm and Intuition. So possibly has the combo ready.
Jerry lost, AJ's gonna lose.
Jerry lost, AJ's gonna lose. Flores looks like he's in. Is this game 2?
3.
Game
2. And Edgar won 1.
Edgar won
Right.
game 1. Edgar looks like he's winning game 2. Is that correct? All right, Drew Levin reporting from the floor.
Do you want to hop in for me if you don't mind?
Looks like
Get a step out before we hit top 8.
sounds very much like Flores has locked up top 8. Where the game is actually still going on, but
Yeah, so AJ might actually just be out of it.
really,
I mean, like,
I thought you were saying he was.
what's
he'd
his
win either way.
record?
I don't know.
Is
I thought
he
he's.
X01 or X11?
I think he would be if he loses here, maybe X11.
Oh, okay, never mind then. He had a match to give, which explains why he was willing to play for Jerry.
Right, I believe that was the situation. So here we are, Blankenship playing Painter's Servant, Grindstone, and Wienburg playing a New Horizons list. Got a lot of pressure over there on Wienburg's side of the board. Well, 2 Tarmogoyfs looks like it's a lot of pressure, except there's only lands in the graveyard right now. So those Tarmogoyfs are squires for the moment.
Well, this Intuition looks like it's probably going to...
Yeah, I'm going to rectify that situation for Ben.
So we're probably going to see, what, Swords in response to Intuition?
It's,
That would make sense, right? I mean, is the Welder active?
The Welder is active, yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I definitely can't actually let that guy live. I boarded in Dark Blast just to deal with him.
Just to deal with Welder, yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like a fair idea. Getting that Welder online is, I mean, in this deck it just looks...
It's filthy.
Yeah, filthy is a good point.
Filthy.
Did you see Matt Elias's article this week talking about possibly including it in Affinity? instead of something like ATOG. What do you think of that?
I think it's a very interesting idea.
Gives that deck some, more of a
It gives
toolboxy
it resiliency.
kind of,
Yeah. I don't know if Affinity wants a toolbox, but it would definitely be a cool direction to take it.
Right. I mean, being able to go grab your cranial plating or whatever it is you want.
Well, and turn your land into your cranial plating.
Yeah.
Turn Crozen Grip into nothing more than a minor hindrance. I mean, the problem, as with all Affinity innovations, is how well are you able to cast it?
Right.
So you have your 4 Great Furnace, you have your 4 Mox Opal.
Well, I think he was advocating putting it in the slot where ATOG is, so where ATOG is typically run, I guess, in the
Sure.
Affinity list, and obviously that seems like a nice even trade mana-wise, color-wise. So.
Trash your Mox Opal, go get a Ravager again.
Yeah.
And then play your other Mox Opal.
Right. Those Mox Opals are nice. Nice for the welder.
Yeah. I assume that's top under the
there's
Open
a
Series
top under
logo.
the logo. Yep. And that is what Blankenship is using right now. So.
Yeah, it's like,
That
why
intuition-
does he get to... I don't see Brainstorm.
That
that's
intuition's
the top.
still on a stack.
Correct.
And I believe he has Painter Servant, Brainstorm in his hand.
Yeah, that looks about right.
Well, it looks like the Swords resolves.
Yeah.
Getting rid of that welder. Now the intuition resolves. Just go ahead, use your intuition now. Not so scary with the welder gone.
Yeah, I mean, like, you just get Grindstone, right, and go all in?
I think so.
Oh,
Maybe not.
wait, so I guess Grindstone is in his hand,
Maybe
right?
that's what it's in his hand. I thought
Yeah.
it was Painter Servant, but we didn't get a good look. We did see the Brainstorm we saw very clearly, but the card that was behind it was not clear. Although it did look like Painter Servant to me.
Yeah.
Unless of course, is he trying to trick Wienburg? No, he
yeah,
did.
no,
No, he changed his mind.
Okay, so we were right.
Yeah, he is. He just goes all in on the grindstones.
I mean,
I don't
so
really know why
next
he-
turn, Wienburg can waste him. His Mox Opal stops being active. I mean, isn't active. Oh, no. He has
He's
top.
got
Never
yeah.
mind.
He's got
Okay,
an
so
active Mox.
his Mox Opal is still active. He basically needs to have hidden a mana source in the top 2 cards. Then just go all in. Oh, that was at the end of
possible.
the
That was the
turn.
EOT. Wow. Yeah.
Well, then.
It looks like Blankenship could have set this up perfectly for himself, but we'll have to see. That is that another Mox Opal? I
It
couldn't
is-
tell.
Yeah, that is.
It is another Mox Opal, okay. Isn't that legendary? Good job. Wienburg picking up on that. Yikes.
Yeah, that's
That was a mistake.
not something. I don't think he meant to do that.
No. He was not thinking about the fact that it was legendary.
If he has a daze, then he can punish him for it. Otherwise, I don't see a Force of Will in his hand.
In
but-
Wienburg's hand?
yeah.
He's got Spell Pierce. Having trouble identifying the rest. Maybe a Wasteland there in the second card in his hand. Okay, so there he goes with the.
Bang.
He tries the. Is that it? Yeah, I mean he got it down.
Wienburg probably going to be a little tilted by the fact that opponent goes Mox Opal into Mox Opal.
Yeah,
Still
and
wins.
Still managed to have the mana. So George Blankenship takes the match.
Yeah.
Painter Servant Grindstone. I think they're having some discussion over.
Oh,